Hi guys, welcome back to The Pulse. Today is a big day. Today is a breakthrough day. A citizen petition was filed with FDA March 7th, just a few short days ago. It was filed by NPA. Now, I had the president of NPA on as a guest about a week ago, and when he got off that call, he said, I'm going to file the petition right now. It's a 12-page document. And it was co-filed by NPA and ANH, which is the Alliance for Natural Health. NPA has over 10,000 members, and the ANH represents over 1 million people. So this is a big filing. It's a legal filing. FDA must respond. I told you the legal process was going to begin for NMN, the process to protect NMN. This is the same filing process that protected NAC. FDA came back after the petition was filed for NAC, and their response was enforcement discretion. So that's what we hope is the result of this filing. But make no mistake, this is a big deal. This isn't a petition you go and put your signature on. This is a petition you share. You forward the link or share the document, the PDF, with your congressman. I need you to download it, read it. It's not that hard to read. It's 12 pages. There's some great information. You'll understand the legal basis for the filing. You'll understand the history of NMN and when it was first introduced to the public, that it's safe. Matter of fact, the interesting thing is, as you read this document, you'll kind of hear David Sinclair in the back of your head saying all of these things. He laid out the argument for NMN as a supplement over the last several years, which is kind of ironic. Now, I want to talk for a moment about this channel's role. As I ask you now to take action, I want you to stop and realize for a moment that we played a significant role in the timing of this filing. I frankly stalked Dan Fabricant until I could get him on. This is the only program that I'm aware of that he's come on and spoken to and recorded a segment for. So it's a big deal. We've played a critical role in the timing of this. Also, the information that's been collected here on your behalf to share with you is now a reference guide for anyone wanting the background in NMN, why it should remain a supplement, what David Sinclair's role is in all this. It's all documented with quotes and loads of information and facts, and people can catch up really quick and know where they stand. So we got to impact it. Like I said, Dan Fabricant at the end of that recording said, I'm going to make the filing right now. I mean, there is a direct correlation between appearing on The Pulse and going out and filing this. So if nothing else, we impacted the timing. But I think we had an impact on this entire legal case by just getting out there, getting out in front of it. And I'm really proud of what we've done here as a community. Your comments mattered. If you weren't watching these videos, he would have never paid any attention. So the fact you are playing a critical role in all of this. Now, I want to talk about, I'm not going to read the whole filing for you, but I want to share with you the highlights of it. The first one was the background between NDIs for supplements and INDs for drugs. I've talked about that in the previous video, what those nomenclature mean. The 1994 DSHEA Act created a race to market between supplements and drugs. And whoever gets out there first with it gets priority, gets precedence, has a right. Doesn't mean it can't be a drug if it's a supplement, but they can't take the supplement off the market if they reach the market in time with the product. I frankly don't understand it. And they make some arguments for NMN as a natural supplement in this document as well. They compare it to niacin, vitamin B3. They mention that it's a natural occurring molecule. Like I said, this is stuff that David Sinclair has all said in the past and is true. So I don't understand why you have to race to market to introduce a natural molecule that's been available for eons in our food supply already. But that's how this is laying out. At least that's where FDA, that's their basis for taking the action that they're trying to take now. The irony is, and the troubling factor of this is, they don't publish the date of the drug submission. So the supplement companies can come to market but not know what race they're even having. They don't know what the race to market even is because that date isn't shared. Another problem in all of this is FDA made up a regulation out of thin air that states it has to be marketed in the U.S. prior to the drug submission. There's no legal cause for this. They just pulled it out of thin air. NMN, which is highlighted in this filing, was available as a supplement as early as 2016 in Japan, and then marketed actively 2018 in the U.S. Sometime in that time is when David Sinclair started to talk about NMN, so his talking about it caused it to further become a supplement that's marketed in the U.S., but it's as if there's no such thing as the internet. I mean, if NMN was available and talked about in Japan in 2016, I can promise you, with anti-aging benefits, people were getting it in the U.S. When Deshay came out, the internet was just in its infancy, and people didn't envision, wow, bringing something to market in Japan is really bringing it to market throughout the whole world. That's really the worldwide introduction of NMN. But that's challenged. That's sufficiently challenged here. When you read this filing, you'll see that, and it's a really valid point. Even that being said, that was 7 years ago. We don't know the date of the drug submission, and they won't share that. And now we have multi-million-dollar NMN industry existing that they're just trying to slam the brakes on and just cause all kinds of disruption, economic disruption, consumer disruption, business disruption. It's all really quite absurd when you really look at it all. Again, this filing points out that NMN is a natural occurring molecule, and also that it's safe, that there are multiple self-certification under the GRAS guidelines, that multiple companies have deemed NMN safe, and there really is no information out there showing anywhere that it's not safe for the general public to take. Matter of fact, the fact that it is a natural occurring molecule in our food supply already does suggest furthermore that it's safe. Now, another thing that to keep in mind here is that we're not just fighting for NMN. We're fighting for other supplements. This can happen to fisetin, as I talked about before, spermidine. This can happen to probiotics. This can happen to peptides. We really are fighting an important battle here that's going to have impacts down the road for other molecules. So I'll say, go up there. I'll put links in the description. As much as possible, make this as easy as possible, kind of spell out for you how to submit this to your congressman. I'm going to D.C. I'm going to Washington to lobby on behalf of this petition with the Natural Products Association. If you saw the video with Dan Fabricant, I was invited to come to D.C. with him. I have accepted his invitation. I'm in the process of the planning right now. That's 3 months out. And I would love nothing more than to walk up to a congressperson and bring up the topic of NMN, and that I'm there to represent the rights of citizens to take NMN and support this citizen petition. And I would love for them to say to me, oh yes, I've been hearing from my constituents about this issue. It's important to me. I would love nothing more, and you can impact that. You can make that change. People, when I started to bring up this argument for NMN and push back against the FDA, there were many comments where people said, you don't know what you're talking about, you're out of your league. I mean, you guys have maybe seen some of these comments. They froze in my mind, right? And so it became fuel. It became fuel for me to keep pushing forward, for me to keep pressing this story. And now here we are. The guy who's out of his league is the guy pushing the timetable on all of this, right? And thank you, Dan Fabricant, for doing this, right? I'm not trying to take any credit away. As a matter of fact, I've given him credit since day one. He's been out in front of this topic since day one. He didn't need any help. All we were able to do was show that there's resonance here, that there's interest here. Because an organization like MPA has any number of supplements they can be in, causes they could be fighting for and lobbying for. As a matter of fact, Dan Fabricant is constantly flying to state hearings, not just federal hearings. He's constantly going all the time. So getting him nailed down for the interview was tough. Getting him nailed down to say, okay, let's file this petition now, wasn't so easy. And so, yes, I'm very excited about that. And I'm happy to say, actually, that a lot of the commenters just had it wrong. You can have an impact. Let's prove them wrong even more by taking action. Take action. Get out there, forward this petition to your congressmen, to your senators. and I mean Congress people, women as well, obviously, forward this to your senators, to your Congress people, and just continue to beat this drum. Don't just send one, send a follow-up. I was able to reach Dan because I sent a follow-up. Sometimes that first email just doesn't get through. Then they see a second one and just write in there in the subject line, second request or second message. They'll auto reply to you, but you might find that a second request may get a personalized response. So keep pushing, keep beating this drum, and then comment below who you wrote. Okay, so we can kind of compare notes and we can see people are taking more action. People are taking action beyond, we got this process. We got the door open. Now I need you guys to come through the door. I need you guys to take some steps into the door. It's not enough to start the process. It's not enough to make the filing. We hope it goes well, but we need to put some gas behind it right now, okay? So you're going to be hearing a lot about this the next few weeks. It's just the way it goes. It's the story arc of this channel. We introduced NMN to a lot of people. Then there was some pushback and debate, and then we addressed that. And then we talked to scientists. Now we've talked to doctors. Now we're talking to political organizations. And it's pretty exciting. It's pretty fascinating. I never would have bargained for this. I just listened to David Sinclair, and I did the protocol that he laid out there, and I got results. And now here I am finding myself on the opposite side of the field with him. It's amazing to me, but I think we're going to win this. I've said that since the beginning of this fight. I think we're going to win this, but we need your help, okay? See you soon.